Okay, so let's take a look at how we can plot Chia in AWS. We're going to launch an EC2 instance and give it a name Chia, and then we're going to just choose Amazon Linux as the base AMI, and we're actually going to choose ARM architecture, ARM 64-bit, so that we can take a look at some of the different machine classes that are available to us. We could use one of these A1 machines. We're looking for about 4 cores max and maybe 4 gigs max, but there really isn't any machine that has 4 cores and 4 gigs of memory. So we might need to choose a different class here. So Chia plotting is highly dependent on the machine specs. So I haven't done extensive testing yet as far as how that would work in AWS, but ideally I would like to start out with a 4-core, 4 gig of RAM machine, but they just don't have one. So I think we're just going to go with the t4g, which is pretty close at about 3 cents an hour for on-demand. I could spot this and save quite a bit of money, but for now, for this demonstration, we're just going to do a t4g medium. So I choose a key pair, and I make sure that I allow SSH traffic from anywhere because I'm going to SSH into this. And I'm going to change the root volume, which is the 8 gig volume, from GP2 to GP3. And then I'm also going to create a 1 terabyte GP3 volume that will be attached to the machine. That's the disk that we will use to actually plot, not the root volume, but the secondary attached disk. So we wait for the machine to come up, and then we SSH to it by copying the command from the console and take a look at what we have. So the first thing I like to do is a yum clean all followed by a yum update, just to make sure we have any security or kernel or other updates applied to the machine. Once we have those updates applied, we will run a few other commands here that are actually cut off of the top of this particular view, but you'll see them in the terminal window here in just a second. So the first one is dfhk. We just want to see what drives we have mounted. So you can see here when I run an lsblk, we have our root volume, but we also have that 1 terabyte drive that is sitting there, but is not showing up as a mounted drive or a mounted file system. So we have to get ready for that. And the way we do it is, first we check to make sure it's actually there, and then we make a file system on it with the mkfs command. So all of these commands are referenced in the video description. Now that we have made the directory data, and then we have mounted this drive at the data mount point, we can run mount to confirm that it did mount correctly. And now we run our df command and we see the data volume there. Note that it is not an fs tab, so this will not persist once you reboot. So if you want it to persist, we can add it to fs tab, but for this demonstration, I won't persist the drive. So let's just go ahead and set up Chia. First thing we do is Python 3.7 virtual environment. So we pip install and upgrade pip, and then we get from the PyPy site the Chia packages for chia-blockchain and another package. So this takes a few moments. Now, while this is loading, I want to make sure that you know that I have not tested this extensively in AWS. So in terms of cost-benefit analysis, I have not done any of that. This video, the intent of it is just to show you how to set this up on a Linux instance in AWS. I can do the same for any other cloud provider. If you'd like, just let me know some comments, and I could try in some of the other cloud providers. But for now, this is just AWS, and I have not calculated cost or anything related to that yet. Just want to show how it's set up. Okay, so now that it is installed, we're going to do a chia init to get things set up. And it's saying no keys are present in the key chain, so we need to create them with chia keys generate. So we generate the keys, and the SSL files have permissions issues, so we need to fix that according to chia, so we'll do that. Now that's fixed, and the next step is to show the mnemonic-seed for this instance. So this is these secret words you should never share with anyone. These are your wallet-related and chia account-related secret that you should not share with anyone. So the ID command shows what user we're logged in as, and the current directory shows that it's owned by the EC2 user. So what we're going to do is chown the /data directory to EC2 user as well. That way we can plot to it. Otherwise we'll get a permission error. So if we change to the data directory, which is the 1 terabyte drive, and then chia plots create, letting it know that we want to plot at /data, then we run the plot and it begins. So in order to monitor progress, let's log into another shell in terminal to that same machine and run a command called htop. So we'll install it first because it is not installed by default, and then we'll run it. So you can see the chia commands running at the top, consuming the 2 cores there, and memory is currently at about 275 megs of 4 gigs, so we're not using much memory yet. But if you choose an instance that is too small, what I have seen is that you'll get an error when you're plotting because it needs more memory than it can actually get. So we already have 8 gigs mapped out in the data directory. These are temporary files as part of the plotting process. So I don't know much about plotting yet, but that's the first step, is it lays out these temporary files and then begins plotting. So you can count the number of them with this command, and we currently have 137. And you can monitor the size of /data with that df or that du command, disk usage command. And you can use htop to watch the progress. So I hope you enjoyed this introductory video on how to plot chia in AWS. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. The commands for this installation are in the video description, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.